Hey everybody, it's your girl Kenlo back at it again, and welcome back to the People's Platform for the Creative Community. And we have a special guest tonight. We have my man, our man, Brotha Taaj.
What's up, yo?
What's up, Brotha Taaj?
Yo, I'm so happy to be here. It's like this is not our first time doing the
Yeah,
Kenlo
it's right.
Show, but you know, to see you in this setup over here, it's all fly. You got your crew taking care of things. I'm just really happy to be here with you.
Thank you. I'm happy that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, since then, I've learned so much about you. You know, we talked about all love. You know, you've grown as a person, as a curator, as a community leader, because I call you a community leader too, by the way, you know?
Thank you.
So we're going to get right into it. Boom. Because you know we got a couple stacks for you.
I see. I like that.
So I found out that you have a Barbados background.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Very tea. Okay.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
And you also were born in... Yeah. I didn't know you was that guy.
Yeah.
Didn't know. You have sounds of West Indian, Caribbean, and West African culture. So would you say that the sound that you grew up on is what you bring back into the community of Philly when you do, you know, your music?
People always ask me the difference between like Philly and Boston, and then they be surprised because Boston's where I'm from. My family all up there. We just came back from Boston with BAMS Fest, Boston Art Music Soul Fest. So people always ask me like, "Oh, I thought there was no black people in Boston," and there's like some truth to that. You know, you go up there, it is very different in some ways.
Yeah, I hear it's very different out there.
But what also is different is that there is a huge like Afro-Caribbean like population up there. So everybody now just got hip to Cape Verdeans because they were winning in FIFA. Like, you know, there's a lot of West African culture up there, but also West Indian, Caribbean culture. So I never heard like club music until I came to Philly. I was 18 years old.
Wow.
Like our party music was definitely like dance hall, soca, reggae, compa, so like just that vibe. So when I came to Philly, like I wanted to get hip to all the new sounds, but then I also was like, okay, we need some of this too. So there's always like a general mix of what I've learned here versus what I experienced growing up.
So how was it growing up in Boston and realizing that a lot of your community in Boston couldn't relate to you?
I can't say that my people in Boston didn't relate to me. It was definitely different in the sense that where I grew up versus where I went to school, like those were two very different places. So I did have to kind of like figure out life a little bit in that middle space of like the inner city of Boston versus like the suburbs where I went to school. And, you know, I'm very grateful for my experience on both sides, but it definitely like helped shape me to like when I came to Philly to be able to handle everything. Hey, you know, my business and kind of entrepreneurial mindset kind of kicked off as soon as I got here. But then I also was always connected to people in the community and in the streets to be, I don't want to use that phrase lightly because we know, you know, what the streets mean here in Philly, but I've always been like a person who's like connected with my community, like the neighborhoods I lived in and different community organizations and just trying to be supportive. And a lot of that came from my experience in Boston because, yeah, you know, my family was always talking about, you know, the power of like collective responsibility. Yeah. And then when I went to school, they was talking about getting money, you know. And I'm not saying I'm getting money, but like just having that kind of dynamic, you know, definitely helped give me perspective on multiple angles.
I like that. And you've always been a person that goes against the grain, like everything you say and everything you do. Like you don't take no as an answer when it comes to your craft. Now, it was very much different in Boston than it is in Philly. You know how we come in Philly, we gonna hustle. And tell me how it felt coming from an environment that wasn't so welcoming to what you were trying to do to an environment that was welcoming.
You know, it's funny, like Philly has always shown me a lot of love and I'm like thankful for my time and experience here, but I wouldn't necessarily like, I've definitely had to like fight a lot of battles here. And over the course of time, like I've definitely had to, I was joking the other day, you know, I've pissed some people off in the process, whether deservingly or not. You know, my experience in Boston was definitely, they have a little further to go in terms of the amount of people who are executing and creating. You know, I think it's growing there, but Philly definitely has more of an entrepreneurial culture.
Yes.
So in a sense, it was easier for me to create something like the All Love Block Party or Black Soul Summer here. But in doing those, you know what I mean, I definitely, you know, had to knock on some doors and at times like not take no as an answer to push the envelope forward.
And you were young doing this. You was a good 18. You came to Philly, came to Temple. Yeah. Now tell us about your, you came to the big dog too, you know. So when you came to Temple, how was your experience when you started DJing? And what did you learn about yourself within that process?
Yeah, when I first got to Temple, I saw a couple things. You know, one at the time, like Temple, now it's the area has kind of changed, but it was still very much like Temple in the middle of North Philly, right? So you just had that, hey, every block was an opening to like just the outside world. So he was very connected to it. And at that time too, like after, you could only stay on campus 2 years. So then after that, you had to find like alternative housing, AKA moving into the neighborhood for most people. And so like, I quickly like connected with the disconnect between like what was happening on Temple's campus versus the neighborhood around us. But even early on, like my freshman year, when we were trying to go out like on a Friday night, because we were just freshmen trying to get drunk, like you could go to like the white frat party or you could go to the black frat party.
Exactly.
And to be honest, yo, both of them they was both kind of whack, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they just, like, you know, the drinks was flowing and whatever, but like the music just wasn't always good. And so like, that's where, you know, DJ Taaj just kind of birthed out. Like, I'm like, yo, y'all not even playing none of this dance hall, reggae, soca. Like, let me just start doing something to kind of switch up this vibe a little bit. And even then, as a freshman, you know, I maybe stepped on a couple toes of people who I got, you know, we have great mutual respect for now.
Right, absolutely.
Maybe wasn't always like that at first.
You know, how was your first party DJing? Now because we know you, Taj, we know you. You don't mess around. You know you want to do something, you gonna do it. So how was your first party when you DJed?
Yo, to be honest with you, it was in my homie King Spy's basement.
Really?
Yeah, well, that was like the first party I threw.
Okay.
The first event I DJ'd, that's a little gray area right there, but I do like clearly remember the first event I ever threw, and this was when we were 18 years old. And it was at King Spy's apartment. He lived on Diamond Street, 18th and Diamond. Ooh, and he had this like first floor and then this big ass empty basement. So yeah, we just started throwing house parties there. And people like Silo were a part of this, and a couple other folks who we still kick it with to this day. But it was automatically different. Like from the first one, people was like, oh, I like this, you know? And I've never had like the biggest events or the ones that make the most money or whatever, but very consistently, like people have, you know, felt like some difference in the intention behind them since that very first one.
I like that.
And that little dirty ass basement was sweaty as all hell, and I don't know.
What happened? Y'all did the stuff. You had parties. Everybody came back. And you Brotha Taaj today. You know you have Brotha Taaj. You know you have All Love. And speaking of which, we're going to get there. Okay, so you had a block party on Khalisu. That brought out, you know, about 300 to 400 people. Brought out a crowd. And you had the neighbors. Now, how was that experience for you? Did you know, like, right then and there, this is what I need to be doing for the community?
Like I was saying earlier, like, you know, like at the time, like Temple students was doing like wild stuff in the neighborhood. Some folks in the neighborhood was robbing Temple students, you know what I mean, breaking into their cribs. There was definitely like a divide there between us, like essentially gentrifying their community because these are people who've lived there for generations, and then you got this school here where people are traveling, even myself, from all over. Right. And they just there to kind of party. And so instead of just kind of putting that look onto the neighbors like, oh, this is how North Philly people act or whatever, anything like that, I quickly realized, I'm like, nah, you know, like we are here in their space. And so we need to like show these people who were invading their space that like we here respectfully. And even if we do have some kind of party vibe, like it's not to disrespect the neighborhood. It's actually to like acknowledge the culture of Philly block parties and to like give some respect and to give them reason to come out and bring their grills out. So, you know, that block party experience was mine. Like I felt like I kind of, owed something to the community to show them that like Temple students, like, hey, there was a lot of us that actually cared about being here. We understood the dynamic of how Temple really impacted, it's crazy. But that fresh grocer that's over there,
I remember,
that wasn't even there when I was a freshman in college.
Really?
That didn't come around until like 2010. And so that area heavily was what they call a food desert. You know what I'm saying? But you got this
a whole plaza over
$100
there,
million plus campus, like right smack dab in the middle of it, and all these people who are paying, $30,000, $40,000 a year to be there.
Okay.
And so, I kind of understood why my mother was getting robbed. You know what I mean? Like, I got it. Like, I just didn't really question that much. And, that first block party, a lot of neighbors, some of the older ones, some were very in support. Others was calling the cops on me when I started to tell them we was, they didn't want it to happen. But once it did happen, like, even the people who was kind of looking out their window, like they came out afterwards and like thanked us and gave respect because they understood that like, we could have this common space that's, free and fun. And that's what's carried on. That first block party, I'm pretty sure was in 2011.
2011.
That's, whatever year it is now.
You should be very proud of yourself, Taj. We're in 2026, so keep that in mind. Boom. Be very proud. Now, tell us how you met Melvin. How did you and Melvin meet? How did you and Melvin get connected?
Melvin was excuse my language, he's my nut-ass freshman year roommate. And I only say that because we just came from just two different dynamics. Yes. So we automatically were like cool. Okay. But I was like, Mel's from like Maryland somewhere, where it's all like.
Really? Oh, so y'all came from two different areas that came to Philly?
Yeah, I'm coming from the city. Yeah. So I was very, I was a little more rugged then. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we never like fought. Mel is, from the day I met him to this day, one of the kindest people I've ever met.
Yeah, he's Mel, you're very kind. We love you.
So he has dealt with a lot of my ups and downs. Yeah. I'll just say that. But we've been connected since we were freshman year roommates. And then, we've lived together a few other times after that. He still watches my dog to this day. Oh. And they're like best friends.
So y'all are best friends. That's okay. We can say best friend, y'all.
Yeah. We can do that. So definitely very grateful for him, but I only call him Nutty because, that freshman year, we was doing a lot of drinking and a lot of dumb stuff,
It's freshman year. Have fun.
So we was like, I'm like, all right, I don't, like, can I trust this dude? Right. I'll tell you real quick, because this is a Kenlo show.
Yeah, tell me.
So for whatever reason, like, my parents was like, this is freshman year where everyone moves in like that week of Labor Day weekend or something. But there was this option to drop you off early. So my mom's was like, oh, we doing that. I think they just had some trip coming up, but I think mom's was like, oh, we can go early? All right, let's get you going. So I was at the campus like 2 weeks early before any of the other freshmen or people got there, right? There was like football players, any like the sports players who were, getting ready, but I lived in that room for like at least 10 days by myself before Mel even came. So he got there, let's just say like on a Thursday or something, and then school is gonna start on that Monday. Long story short, like that Friday night, he was getting a call at like 2, 3 a.m. to come pick me up from the local precinct. I didn't get like arrested, but I kind of got into it with the cops because they was just kind of being whatever. But sure enough, he just like showed up and I was like, yo, this is gonna be like not a good relationship. But
so you already like premeditated, like, oh, this is.
I thought I messed it up from the beginning, but he's always shown me love from the very day one.
And together, y'all build So Far Out Entertainment. Now, how did y'all come together and build that? Come on, let's focus. Lock in, Taj. We need to know.
That's damn. Yeah, that's a. So, like I said, Mel was still kind of figuring out his, college life, while I was kind of like, all right, I'm doing something already. So I was kind of always dragging him into things like, all right, well, you come and help me with this. But yeah, So Far Out Entertainment, that was the hair logo. Shout outs to the Neptunes. Yeah, it kind of spoke to that like whole dynamic I was talking about earlier, where like the events at the time were pretty like separated, pretty much by race, to be honest with you. Which I don't got a ton of problem with that.
It was still like that. Like, all right, I was in high school in 2010, 2011. So when my cousin was going, I used to go see her. But you can clearly see the difference. Like, I'm like, okay, it's all of us black students here. It's looking like higher learning, basically.
And we need that. We need our space. But at the same time, I was thinking just like economically, I'm like, oh, well, let me just create some stuff that's like still centered here, but anybody could show up too. And so that's where So Far Out Entertainment came. And yeah, probably by my first semester of sophomore year, we were throwing like bigger events on Temple's campus and at actual venues. And yeah, we got in trouble a couple of times, which kind of led to the end of So Far Out.
But tell us about that. What was the trouble?
Yeah, one time, it's called, shout outs to Uddy. He still owns this place today. It's called, oh my gosh, what is it called today? But it's on like 17th and Cecil B. It used to be called Patterson's Palace.
Patterson's Palace.
It's right there right now. I forget what they call it now. But anyway, he was a promoter at the time. There was an owner. Whatever happened with the owner, the building was getting ready to get sold. He ended up taking ownership of it. So shout outs to Uddy, because he's kept that space a black-owned event space on Cecil B. That's got all these different multi-floors and spaces in it. It's really nice. You should go support him. But we were kind of young compared to the people who were throwing events there at the time. They were juniors or seniors or at graduate, because it was this big-ass space. But like by sophomore year, I was already like, nah, we doing stuff here. So the first one we did there, I think it was very successful. And then we tried to do another one, and somebody called the police, and like 40 state troopers, cars showed up, and then they wrote like hundreds of people to underage whatever's. Luckily, somehow I was able to get me and my people out the back door, and we got out. But a lot of people was mad at us for a little bit after that, because I mean, it's not my fault you was underage drinking. I'm just here playing the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just trying to make sure everybody got the vibe. But that's it. Yeah, we had one or two scenarios like that where we was getting after it well before 21, and that was, I think, is illegal still. It's okay. Yeah.
But you had fun though. That's all that matters.
It was a great time.
There was an article, being white in Philly. Even though they was talking about our folks in North Philly, and you wasn't having it. So tell us about how you felt, and what did you do to go against that?
I'm not really sure what I did. You're gonna have to remind me on that.
No, I'm saying like, so you saw it, and you saw the disrespect that they talked about?
Yeah, it was some article that the Philly Inquirer had published where they were just talking about like the white experience in Philadelphia. And like my first question is just like, dog, like, I got into it with some white, like, I don't do the Instagram like comment beef, but I got into it with some white lady on the gram the other week. It was a post about like convenience stores and the damage that they have on communities, and that's a whole nother conversation that we can get into. Look it up. But she was basically commenting like, yeah, like something about her moving here, and I'm like, well, why did you move here? You didn't know that this was it?
Y'all come here and that's a choice.
You didn't know that this was the vibe. And so that whole article was just really like trying to validate some like white fragility of, where nowadays I don't even think it matters. Philly does seem to be less black than it was at a certain point. But I can't really remember the circumstances around it. I know I was just very vocal and making it clear that.
Yes, you were vocal. Come on, Brotha Taaj. You was vocal and you used your music as a statement. Come on, like, let the people know how you combated it. It's me.
This was like 10 years ago.
Okay, 10 years ago, you still made a statement though. You see what you do here in 2026? You used your music
no,
and you stepped on next with your music, and now For 10 plus years, we're going to your block parties, babe. Okay?
Yes.
So be real about what you did 10 years ago and how did you use your music to make a statement, and also let white people know this is actually our land. Come on, Taj.
I am totally blanking on this. No, for real. Like you caught because you bringing up some reps so far out entertainment.
Because you did a lot of great things. Expand on it.
I'm trying to just think about like where I was at the time, like when that happened.
Don't even worry about where you was, baby. What did you do?
Do you know?
Do I know?
I don't know because whatever this research says.
You use the music, bro. Okay, look. Okay. The parties are not just parties anymore. From the time you started to the time that we about to do All Love for July 18th. So what did you do? And how did you use music to make a statement and show people we are more than what these white people say in North Philly?
I see what you mean.
And don't be shy. Come on.
If you're referring to a specific example,
no, I'm not.
Okay,
just
good.
Tell us.
I mean, I don't know. It's like the music to me is like, there's a lot of DJs out here who really take the music very seriously. That's always kind of been like a tool, right?
Okay. Was it a tool for you specifically?
Yeah. Okay. Like even becoming a DJ, it wasn't because I was like had this like love for music and I wanted to do this. I realized that there was an imbalance in the energy flow with people coming together, and I was like, okay, I can use this music to kind of shift that up a little bit. And so, I mean, even before that article, but even with more influence around it, I just tried to make it clear to people that like, I want you to come shake some ass at this event, but that's not what this is about. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, talk to somebody else, like connect with other people, like, get involved in something, whether that's like community oriented or just like doing what you're supposed to do. Like, it was just always meant to be like, parties have always just, hey, they make a couple of bucks, but like the point is to like give people like a feeling of belonging, you know, and let them know that like this is our space. And you just like don't really gotta like a lot of noise from other people or just like even within our own communities. Like you gotta drown some of that shit out.
You do.
And what I always say is like you gotta create beyond their power to destroy.
Say that again.
You got to create beyond their power to destroy.
I love that.
And we know that the powers that be, whatever that may be in different scenarios, like they be on it, like they really be working. And I think a lot of folks miss the point about what the inverse looks like, about what being proactive and just trying to use whatever platform you have to, share your art or your creativity. But let's go a level deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? How are we, uplifting like collective consciousness in some kind of way?
Absolutely. See, there you go.
I wasn't sure.
Consciousness,
I thought you was about to say like I did something, and I was like, maybe I did.
It's like I ain't gonna do you. Now you said that DJing is a tool. Now, would you say you're passionate? Now, if you're not passionate, what always brings you back to the turntables?
Oh, yeah, it's tough sometimes. Like I have a weird relationship with DJing. Like,
tell us about that.
I don't really, like I said, like it's probably something I should. And there were times in my DJ career where I did take it really seriously. Yeah. But again, like it was always just like an avenue to something a little bit deeper. So that's always where my mind and focus is. There's a lot of DJs out here. I didn't say there's a lot of good DJs out here. There is a lot of good ones. There is a shout out to the Chamber 215. We just had our DJ competition. Don Will won that. But the state of DJing right now is getting real weird. I just think you got a lot of... It's
getting weird? Oh dear, why? Oh.
See, she acted surprised, but you already knew.
Do I?
I think you do. Because I think there's... I don't want to get up here and sound like some salty old head, but I will for just a moment.
Okay.
Like, I just feel like when I started DJing, there was still like an extreme importance around like learning the fundamentals and the technique, learning how to transition, learning how to blend like beat matching songs, like understanding like the flow of a night.
Okay, yes, okay.
That DJing is a little more like chess than checkers. You know what I'm saying? I get that right. you want to build a night in anticipation of, you know, going through some different flows, but having some consistency and continuity throughout it. And nowadays, there's just a lot of obviously focus on social media and likes there. So you have people who are popular versus people who got cool YouTube video transitions and stuff. And then you hear the people DJ in person, and it's just like,
it doesn't match.
What am I missing here?
Right.
And it's not because I have this like crazy high expectation of you being perfect. I think DJing is the coolest thing because you can mix it however you want. So for me, like, I think there's an emphasis on the DJs that to be more accountable and actually not just, you know, learning enough so that you can go play song to song with your friends out at the club, but actually taking some time to actually learn the craft and you know, develop in those ways. I think a lot of people kind of skip some phases and go from like, oh, I just started DJing to, oh, now I'm throwing my own event, which I think is great, but like learn how to really DJ. Right. Yo, DJs, wear your headphones. You know what I mean? Like just
that too.
I could go down that line like a whole bunch. The point being that the music is like, it's a tool that I think is being heavily misused by a lot of people. I'm sorry, I just think, I don't mean to like call out like certain specific artists, but I think there's just certain songs that these DJs play every single event that are just like, oh man, so degrading to our like culture and like our prosperity or lack thereof. Not because we can't have fun and like listen to different things that say whatever, but I feel like sometimes people just like underestimate the subconscious effect that these songs and like, we get deep into it, like chants, mantras, whatever you want to call it, spirituals, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yes.
Like when you hear how we sing certain songs when they come on in the club, like it almost starts to give like, you know,
it does something to us. It's supposed to be a spiritual thing.
I think in many cases, it's all good and fun, but I think that the music that we heavily rely on is actually, it's just reinforcing some things that when you actually look at the culture, it's like, oh, well, maybe there is some kind of connection between these two. I don't know. So I just try to put a little less emphasis there. When you come to Black Soul Summer events, yo, we're not playing that like top 40 hip hop rap stuff. Like, hey, you might hear some remixes of it, some edits, and like you're gonna get familiar like with the vibes, but we're constantly trying to like expose Black folks to the plethora of Black dance music. Not because I'm trying to be a music educator, but again, because I'm trying to help people open up their systems a little bit.
Right.
When you can't have fun at a party until this particular song is played, you dampening your own experience. You know what I'm saying? A DJ is supposed to, when you pay money to go out to an event with a professional DJ, they're supposed to like put you on to some stuff that you're not hip to. Not just because they want you to know the song, but because that's the part of the experience of you learning and being open to something new. And that, what I think is a very simple concept of how you can impact people on a dance floor. You come to Black Soul Summer, you could be there for 3-4 hours and people are gonna be dancing the whole time, but you're not gonna necessarily be hearing that same kind of playlist that I talk about sometimes. We're allowing people to have fun with stuff that they're not even fully familiar with.
Exactly.
And although it's just dancing in that moment, I do believe that it has an impact more on their experience outside of that room. They are a little more open to just receiving good things that should be coming their way without you having to have this wall or defense up like you already know what's good for you. Because we all know.
We all know that person that likes to be on the wall and know what's good for them. Okay? So thank you, Taaj, for explaining, because you need to know that you are that guy. Don't forget that, okay? When it comes to DJing. And speaking of which, I saw you did a competition.
Yes.
Now, did you feel like Q from Juice when you did it?
Oh, I wasn't actually in it. So Sync Production Group and Black Soul Summer, we helped the Chamber 215 as their event producers.
Oh, okay.
Create the Chamber 215 inaugural event. It was really awesome. We had 2 events. The first one was a preliminary with 14 DJs who came out.
Wow, that's
amazing. They all got to compete, and then we boiled that down to 4.
Okay.
There was like a whole voting system with judges, and then the crowd got to participate. And then we had the finale at Franklin Music Hall this past Friday where the top 4 competed, and then DJ Don Will was chosen as the winner in the end. So shout outs to him and congratulations.
That's dope.
And I want to go back for a second. I'll come back to the Chamber 215 that like, when we talk about like knowing it all sometimes, like that attitude of like, oh, I know what the DJ should be playing. I'm not saying this as totality, right? It's a reflection of you and other spaces in your life. The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. That's at least been my experience.
You know what my dad used to say? You so smart, you stupid. It be like that. Like,
the more we learn, the more we're learning, we should be learning things or learning of things that we do not know about.
Exactly.
You know? And I think a lot of people get stuck in this, oh, I'm 25, I'm 30, I know who I am and all my likes and dislikes. And I'm not saying you don't have that. You do have an identity, but I think sometimes we get a little like locked into that. And so sometimes folks, when they want to be requesting songs in the middle of I'm just like, what do you like? What are we really
doing? Right.
So to just bring that back to the Chamber 215, like, you know, like DJ battles, especially in this city, like it can kind of be like a controversial thing. Yeah. There are some that exist, but you don't really see them on any kind of scale because there's a lot of competition, there's a lot, or I should say there's a lot of egos. Competition is okay, but ego is what makes competition not great. Competition should make people better. And so I think there were a lot of folks who initially were like, you know, they saw it, but they just felt like they knew, you know, what this was gonna be or whatever. And in the end, I think they feel like they missed out a little bit. You know, Don Will, he walked, I think, yeah, I could say this because it happened. Don Will walked away with two G's. Nice plaque. He got consultation from this like professional DJ group. And so there were a lot of folks that we had to, you know, talk through, at least initially, to like let them know what our idea was, what we were doing. And that's part of the process when you're starting something new. But if anything, there was a lot of people who kind of had these preconceived notions about what it may or may not be. But now they know.
They know.
They at least will, you know, so going into next year, I expect that event to just get bigger and better.
It's going to get bigger and better, Taj. You know this. You know this. You meet DJ Damage because DJ Damage taught you how to DJ freshman year. He saw your situation. Was like, I don't know about that, brother.
Nah, he definitely got me right.
Yeah, how was that experience?
He got me right pretty quick. Like I said, I got that equipment like my first couple of months being at Temple. And DJ Damage at the time, he was on the radio, like he was doing the clubs in Philly, like he was already one of the bigger, if not, you know, the Diamond Cuts was around too at the time, a couple other folks, but he was like one of the biggest DJs in the city already. And he went to Temple. And wow. I mean, again, this was over 16 years ago, but I'm trying to remember who actually connected us. Because it was a common friend that we had. I'm gonna remember who this person was. But they basically said, hey, like, I know DJ Damage, and either she had told him about me, or he had asked her about me, or one or the other. Because I'd already been doing a couple of events. And yeah, we ended up connecting. He came to my dorm. Melvin was there, sitting right next to me, right? And I had this little board that I just didn't even know. I had no idea what I was doing, really. Like, I just had all the music. I had the equipment. I was just like rocking. I already did a couple parties just like that. And he came through, he did. And it was just funny. I'll never forget this. Like, he was like, what is this? And I told him what it was called or whatever. And he was like, oh, let me master this real quick. And he just got on there and he just started doing shit like this with his hands, and it just started making noises and sounds that I had never heard before. I was like, yo, like what is even going on here? And he did, yo. He kicked it with me for like a couple hours that day, and he was just like taking me through some like real basic techniques to just like, take it from playing songs to actually DJing. And yeah, I mean, fast forward, I just saw him not too long ago up here at Roots Picnic, but DJ Damage, he's come and played the Olive Block Party.
Yes.
He actually did the last one that we had at Sunflower Philly. He was there for that. And, we still keep in touch lightly, but, he a DJ rock star, and I've just been blessed by a lot of older DJs, more experienced DJs in my time who've, shown me a lot of love. And he was definitely one of the first to like really put me on to how to get right.
You like that. Now, from that experience, do you try those different techniques that he did teach you? Like, was you like a young boy that was like, I don't know about that though?
All the basic stuff I took. DJ Damage, he can really like scratch.
Get down, okay.
Like he can do all types of crazy stuff, make all types of different noises and things that I've not gotten to that level, no. I wish I did. If I had started practicing like that part for real, all those years ago, who knows where I might be right now. But again, I was always kind of like respecting the craft and like making sure I knew how to like hold down the fundamentals. But like once I knew that part, I was like, all right, well, there's still a bigger mission here.
Yeah.
I only got but so much time for all this stuff,
But we're gonna get there, Taj. Come on. Like, come on, Taj. You about to get into a game. We're going to let you chill for a little bit.
Okay.
We're going to get into a game. It's called First Thought, okay? I'm going to ask you questions.
Oh, man, first. First one be crazy sometimes.
Boom. Just sit back. Just be cute.
Filter it.
Boom. Boston or Philly, best crowd. And it got to be rapid fire. That's a tough one?
Philly.
Philly?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Bajan roots, best Caribbean dish, no debate.
I mean, you gotta get like some fish fresh out the joint. Like I'm probably gonna go. I'm always a snapper person. Like that's just what I go for.
Okay.
The rice and peas, you gotta have it.
I like that. Reggae dancehall or hip hop to open the set?
Oh, I would go reggae every time when it's appropriate. You gotta why not?
Okay.
You always get back to the hip hop.
Ooh, DJ Damage, DJ Sega, or Matthew Law on the ones and twos.
Whoa,
my boy.
All right, well, if I had to choose based on just like my current preference of how I like to party, like if I was in a dance space, I'd probably say Mad Law. I think DJ Sega has his specialty, which is essentially playing the music he's produced, which is legendary, but it's his music for the most part that he's gonna play. DJ Damage, amazing DJ technically, and more technical than the other two. But he's still, I think, a little more in the hip hop space, which I still love and appreciate, but Mad Law got that mix.
Okay. Carlisle, because I messed up the first time. Okay. Carlisle, Monument, or Bouvier, favorite temple block?
Oh, the Monument.
At Bouvier, I heard, he had Tierra Reckonum at the, so you sure? Now think about this, think about what you finna say.
This is true.
Think about what you about to say.
She actually went by a different name at the time. That block party was set up to be the best one ever.
So think about it.
But it got rained out.
Ooh.
So, if it was supposed to be from 12 to 8, I think it was around like 3:30. It was around like 3:30 where the rain just came down so bad. Like we had to cut it. Like it just wasn't gonna work. So the Monument one was crazy.
The Monument was crazy? Okay. All right. 2 suitcases and a rental. Worth it, yes or no?
I don't know. Like I would say yes. That's how I came back to Philly. I had graduated and then I went home for a little bit and I was doing stuff up there, corporate career-wise and, in the community. But it just still wasn't really working out, my situation. Mel was here, the homie Shaq was here, all my homies was here. Like, I still had homies in Boston, but like the people I felt like I could do some business with were here. So yeah, I packed I only had 2 suitcases worth of shit in that rental car, and I drove back here, and I was like, you know what, I'm staying. And we just figured it out.
See? Summer or fall?
I'm gonna go summer.
Summer, okay. Asher Roth, underrated or exactly rated?
Wait, hold on, what are my options?
So is Asher Roth underrated or exactly rated?
Underrated.
Underrated?
It's crazy to say, but he's really one of the like better, like more intuitive, like real skilled hip hop lyricists, I believe. I don't know if he's ever, people know him for that like cheesy stuff that he became extremely popular for, but that man can really spit and like speak to people.
Okay. Vinyl, Serato, or that little controller you started on?
Serato.
Free community festival or ticketed event, which feeds your soul more?
I would say ticketed event at this point because I realized that doing free stuff, although I would like to have that be provided, we have collective responsibility.
Yeah.
And so we have to, instead of us spending our money with every other type of person on this earth possible besides us, no, we actually need to
bring it in.
Be funding here. And that's not the main funding option. We're still going to work some other things. But by people having a buy-in to the event, that helps us ensure that really no matter what, we're always going to be able to have this event. As soon as we got to rely on X, Y, and Z corporate sponsor, PWI institution to fund this for us, they change their mind like the wind.
Yes, they do. Okay. The artist you booked early who blew up the biggest? The artist you booked early who blew up the biggest?
That's an interesting question. Damn, there's been a lot. Well, again, the Tierra Wack example doesn't really get to that. That's pretty much the one, but that didn't even happen because she didn't get to perform that day. So I don't know if that one technically counts, but they were already big before we booked them. But I'd probably say the biggest act I've worked with for real is probably DJ Active. Like if you're talking about Philadelphia, like that man be traveling all over the world with some of literally the biggest artists ever who consider him like the literal family. So shout outs to him. I know he gets his respect, but like sometimes I feel like Philly doesn't like we do. It's like, oh, DJ Active, like respect OG, but it's like, nah, like what he's doing is
amazing.
Really amazing. And like it's that type of thing where it's like, oh, he's like the only person on this earth who has that network of relationships like that. So I got a lot of respect for him.
That's dope. One word for Black Soul Summer.
Power.
Come on. I like that.
We got to take that back a little bit. You know, we've given so much away. And I got some, you know, thoughts about, you know, how we reflect on our struggle as a people. We do a lot of finger pointing outward. And we really need to hold that mirror up. Not to say, oh, this is all our fault or, you know, that there isn't some blame to place elsewhere, but like, where's the responsibility in how we correct this? And Black Soul Summer was really just like, in many different ways, it's had multiple initiatives, but it was really to like remind event organizers who are literally bringing people together that like, yo, you need to reclaim some more ownership of your process behind that. Because it is very powerful having that ability to bring people together. But if you're using platforms that are just selling off your data to the next PWI, that's having an inverse effect on our, you know, larger independent Black industries as a whole.
That's the end of the game. We loved your answers, by the way.
They weren't really one-word answers.
It's okay.
I felt like I had to elaborate a little bit.
Yeah, we love your liberation.
Because some of those, you was going to get me in trouble with that DJ one. edit that one out.
Yeah, I know, that was a little tough. That was a little tough for you, I know.
That was gonna get me caught up.
So we're gonna talk about the two suitcases.
Okay.
And you coming back to Philly.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was from 2014 to 2016.
Yeah.
What were you betting on in that moment?
Just that, like, I kind of saw in Boston that my option was really like only the corporate route, which was like cool, but it was like, nah, like, what am I about to do? Like this for the rest of my life? I had a lot of faith in, you know, a little cocky, like myself. I just knew like, oh, I'm gonna make something happen. And to this day, like what that something is in the eyes of the beholder, I guess. Some days I can be probably a little more appreciative of what I have been able to accomplish.
Yes.
And not always kind of looking down the road to the next thing. But in that moment, I knew like I was kind of in a desperate place, battling like some depression, and not even some severe, like I was doing some real bad drinking post-college. Just trying to figure out that world. You know, I'm living home, my parents, going to this convention center that I work at, you know, every day, driving through feet of snow. I was doing okay, like, I guess circumstance-wise, but I was really unhappy.
Yeah, I feel you.
Just because I didn't feel like I could, like, create, you know, at the way I wanted to. And so, yeah, coming back to Philly, it wasn't really even a question. Like,
you were just betting on yourself and your power, like, you know, your craft and just getting back to yourself.
I basically told Mel, I was like, yo, if I move back, like, we got to start a business. And he was like, all right, yeah.
And look at y'all, see?
And then I did it, and then he was like, I like knocked on his door one day. I'm like, I'm here. And sure enough, like, you know, we had a few initially that didn't work out. And we had to pivot and take breaks at times. But we've stayed pretty connected through all of it. And yeah, there's a lot to be proud of all these years later.
Yes. Okay. You and Melvin started 91 Republic. Okay. To keep the Soul for Our mission going, but connect artists across the cities. Now, why did Philly have to be the home base?
It was the home base because I already knew a lot of artists. Like a part of my DJ career at the time that I really took a lot of pride in was I would DJ for a lot of artists, their shows and stuff. And at the time in Philly, you know, there was local shows going on all the time, and like good ones, not like, respectfully, there's some showcases we can walk into now where you might be one of few people, right? And there'd be and everybody else be the artist or something.
Right.
And,
yeah.
you know, like, which is still cool. I still respect that. Like, we got to work our way up. But at the time in Philly, you know, 2009, 2013, you know, even beyond that, like, there was a lot more independent music venues. Yeah. And there were a lot more like organizers who would throw in like actual like decent shows. So you could go to a random show Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night of the week, and actually feel like you were at a concert, like, but a local concert. You know, we kind of got away from that as of, I think recently. A lot of the times when we want to go to show, you got to go to a Live Nation venue. Yeah. Which I don't even need to spend the time listing all those. But really what you start to look around is like most of these music venues in Philadelphia now are not independently owned anymore. They're owned by corporate entities that are not from Philly. So they might have a black person in a space or two, but generally speaking, you're dealing with corporate entities that are really trying to not necessarily cultivate local culture and talent. They're trying to bring whatever's going to make them the most money.
Yeah, I was about to say, so it's all about the money for them. Than...
It is, and it's like I mean, hey, it's America. But, you know, this was the birthplace because I had already worked with like a whole bunch of artists on the like show side of it. Some I toured with one or two artists, not like anything major, but like just doing some shows within several shows in a small amount of time. And the 91 Republic thing, it didn't last long, maybe a little over a year, but we were trying to build more of a bridge between a group that was going to produce local shows and have touring talent be a part of those experiences. So it still felt like you was getting this homegrown thing, but it was still professional. But also managing artists as well during that process. So there was too many things going on, and managing artists, shout outs to all the people who do that. That I don't think I'll ever do that again. Unless somebody like really begged me and I like loved them, but I can't think of an example.
Nobody? You sure?
Just maybe one.
Maybe one? Okay.
Yo, Neptune 21. If you asked me to manage you, I would highly consider it. But I don't think she would. She needs somebody like who is in there already. You know what I mean?
See what you're saying.
She need like an official girl, you know?
I see what you're saying. But if it was you should be like, wow, let's do this, let's get you in this room. Like, you still got it, Taj. You still got it.
Otherwise, it's tough. Yeah.
Okay.
Love y'all, but nah.
Okay, so you had the first All Love Block Party in 2017 on 17th and Randolph, and you had the names of Asher Roth, Michael Christmas, Marcella Cruz, and the late Chynna Rogers. Shout out to Chynna and rest in peace, my love. And they all came and killed it. Now, this started as a free festival, but it felt like a real one. Now, when you saw what was actually going on in front of you and seeing what you built, what was that experience like?
Yeah, it was definitely different. And shout out to Chynna Rogers. I mean,
amazing.
I just went to this, we had an event, United We Heal Film Festival that we partnered with, and they had a pre-concert where Jungle Pussy was one of the performers. I don't know if y'all know her. She's
dope. She's dope, yeah.
That was my first time seeing her perform live, but she performed a song that she did with Chynna Rogers,
That's dope.
Obviously back some time ago, and, she gave just praise to her. And there's this video that we have of her, and she's like doing a drop for the block party. And she was just so like hyped to be there and like just supportive. And we really didn't even know each other at the time. That was like really our first time like connected for real. So I think about that and just like all the people who've like been a part of this experience over this last 8 or 9 years. The first one, like, Melvin and I, we knew kind of how to throw the block parties. We had the event management space together, and we knew the local like community. There was a lot of people on that lineup. Marcella Cruz, she came down from Boston, but then Asher was, really he was the host, and he wanted to invite some of his homies. So Michael Christmas coming down from Boston, Chuck English being there, like that was really a collaborative effort to, give the city like a block party experience in Philly that felt like a day in the backyard, but also like a real thing. You know what I mean? And what's crazy is groups like GoPuff, like that the app we all use now. It wasn't even an app at the time. Like that was they had just launched it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they were brand new, not even a year in. They were one of our sponsors. There was a lot going on that day, but.
Did it feel like old times though? Like when you had your very first block party before it became All Love? Like how?
Yeah, it was hot as shit, and people was just like, we couldn't even breathe out there. But it did feel like, what I had done at Temple. Yeah. But we had taken a step further with it, and just incorporated more people, and the free element too obviously gives people a level of inspiration to attend. But then they also feel like, oh, this is cool because it's free and all this stuff is happening because they got a really cool show for free.
Right.
And we kept it for free as long as we could, but again, as you mature, just economic-wise, like you gotta understand the implications of what free has. That don't mean less money from. Hey, I am not getting rich out here off of this. I just want to make that very clear. Like, that is not the case. I promise you. Ask the tax lady. But what people may perceive as like some kind of profit to me or whatever the organization for charging a ticket for the event, again, it goes more to the self-sustenance of the event experience, so that the whole point of Black Soul Summer All Love Block Party is that we can do this for each other no matter what.
Yes.
So I know that was a workaround, but I'm just grateful for it all.
As you should be. And shout out to the text lady.
So if you were doing business out here, I don't care. You collecting anybody hit you with the make sure you got an LLC or whatever it is. Get a tax person.
Oh, that's right. They will come for you.
Make sure your taxes.
They will come for you, yo.
And don't think that because they paid you in full on that invoice, that's all your bread is coming to your pocket initially, but you need to have a separate account where you take a nice little chunk. And it's a chunk. It's not even like a little slither. You know what I'm saying? Like, you better get used to that process. That every time they pay that invoice in full to you, and you feeling real good because your business has, received. It's not a debit. That's a deposit. We love that. Make sure you cut out that. I think about 30%.
Damn. 30.
But I ain't no tax. That's why you gotta get that tax lady.
Sheesh. Ooh, get that tax lady, y'all. We need therapy and our taxes done correctly. Boom.
Agreed.
Black Soul Summer.
Yes.
So Black Soul Summer started with DJ Nash. Shout out to our girl DJ Nash. I did not know that. Okay. And as you say, like, certain venues didn't represent us, our people. So how was it hard to say that out loud? I'm sure it wasn't. It's you, Taj. You always been for the people. But was it somewhat hard to say that out loud?
So you're talking about the place Sunflower, Philly. And Mel at the time, he was like the executive director there or something. Mm-hmm. So they were doing all these events, but I quickly realized, like, you got this spot in North Philly, and these events, they playing hip hop and things like that. But when I show up here, I'm looking around and I'm like, oh shit, it ain't very black around here, Right. Now, I'm not expecting it to be all black, but I'm just saying that there was a clear, I think, that area was changing pretty quickly, and people who were part of the gentrification process were finding their home there at Sunflower, Philly, which was cool. But I was like, nah, give me like 6 dates on the calendar for across the summer, and I'm gonna connect with other black organizers, and we're gonna host and have events here.
Yes.
To bring some balance to our population, attendance of population here, right? And so Nash happened to be one of those people who I reached out to, and she was doing international bounce, which is been around for a minute now. I don't know how many years she's celebrated. She got to be close to coming up on 10, because this was before
10 years.
Am I tripping? When was the first one? But this is the Juneteenth festival that we created there, and that's the first one that we had at Sunflower at the Philly at the time. And then, after we had, Juneteenth Fest, we had already had the Olive Block Party there for a couple of years. There was some other event organizers stocked up. Sibby Live, who had an event there. Bobby Flowers had an event there. We tried as much as we could to connect with whoever was creating space somewhere else. And we're like, nah, come do a special event here. And in the process of that, it just became clear to me. I'm like, okay, well, I should, really look to make Black Soul Summer, something that people can connect with all throughout the year, or all throughout the summer at the time. But more importantly, instead of just like, oh, here's 3 festivals that you can go party and shake your ass at, it was an economic move. And I'm getting y'all some game here right now, yo. Collaborations are the easiest way to get bread, bro. Like, it's not even really like a question. People just think they could just go make money, like, do you and make your money, but you realize that, hey, your business needs other parts of your ecosystem, and then if you put those other pieces in place, you'll make more money. But hey, somebody else.
Look at my ecosystem. I love y'all. See?
In the midst of you making more money, guess what? Somebody else makes more money too. And that's what throws some people off sometimes. They're like, oh my God, you get to get a little better too? For some reason with black folks, we can get a little sour there.
Yep, talk about it, come on.
Which is just kind of confusing to me, because you would think like, oh, well, this person helped me. It would only make sense that there's gonna be some exchange here of some sort. So really with that ecosystem, we really wanted people to have events that they could attend, but more so it gave us more negotiating negotiating power and leverage with any corporate sponsors we were dealing with. Because we weren't just acting as an individual in this one brand with me and my homies, we were acting as this like coalition of actual event organizers who represent different spaces, different communities, different age groups, but we're all bought in on this one concept and we're presenting this to you as a unit. So no, you're not just gonna be writing your little check for this and your little check for that. Now we need that big ass check that's gonna be split amongst us. And so that was really some of the early concepts of Black Soul Summer and how we
Come on, Taj. Yes.
were able to, you know, launch the event because, you know, we were really invested into the collaborative effort. And we still are to this day. It just looks a little different, more so based around the platform where we're making sure that people are really having not just full ownership over their data and their customer and supporter data, but that they're retaining more of their actual funds that they generate as opposed to paying out these fees astronomically to, I'm just gonna keep saying PWIs because we that's mostly what it is.
It's okay. Now, you see how you broke that process down? You talk about economic growth, you talk about, you know, collective responsibility and how we need to come together. Now, how did you develop that way of thinking and put it into your business? Like, who taught you this? I know you talk about your dad a lot. Now, if he was the reason, talk about that.
Yeah, like, I had a real interesting, like, upbringing. My mom and dad, they were, psychological clinicians in spaces. My dad was more in the, like, Islamic, like a minister side. My mom more in the like clinical hospital space, prison space. Like she jumped around a little bit. But then they were also relationship counselors together.
Really?
Yeah. So they counseled, you know, individuals, couples, families, and they would have these like group sessions as well. So although they had that like clinical experience, they were also just very rooted in like their like spiritual practice as well, and how those two things were connected in developing your relationship with yourself and with others. So you know, Kwanzaa was like a thing in my house. Like we was definitely celebrating Kwanzaa. Like yeah, they still rolled out the Christmas tree and like got a couple gifts, but like Kwanzaa was the thing where it was big. Like. That was the one where it was like, oh, we're going to this, we're going to that, we're going to this.
Because
it was, you know, just 7 days long, and it's like there's a different event each day. And so when you go through some of the principles of Kwanzaa, you know, some very like key elements there. And it's like, I'm not asking but anybody like from a religious standpoint or even like cultural standpoint to like celebrate Kwanzaa. I'm saying, yo, bro had a point in terms of some of those principles that he felt like we really needed to embody a little bit more. So it obviously starts out with Umoja, unity, which we talk about how Black people need to come together all the time. But what really resonated for me was like the collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics. Like those are things that have been kind of instilled in me since a youngin'. And I've always kind of like operated in that space of just like, all right, like people go around saying like me and I a lot. And that's probably the right way to refer to yourself or whatever your pronouns are. But me, I say we a lot. That's kind of like on some spiritual ancestral side where I feel like the ancestors are, you know, behind me and with me. And so like when I'm saying we, like I'm talking about people who ain't even here no more, but who's still with me. But then I'm also talking about like, yo, like the moves that I make are not for me, like it's moving for us, like as a group. So, you know, that foundation, I'm very blessed to have the parents that I did. But I must have they always say like, I must have chose them for a reason, you know, like I came here to like do something that would open folks' eyes a little bit more to the pivot we would have to make socially and culturally and psychologically, in my belief, to improve our relationships within ourselves, but also with each other. That would then allow us to progress socioeconomically in this country and world.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Brotha Taaj. Oh, this card is expensive.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, so Black Soul Summer, as we know,
yes,
it reclaims Black outdoor event spaces. Okay? So what are we reclaiming from or who? And you can get deep with it.
Well, we got to be realistic that a lot of the spaces that we use or have access to in Philadelphia are not Black owned.
Right. Absolutely.
And then when you even talk about Black owned, like there's layers to that. You know what I mean? I always try to say, saying the phrase Black owned is not enough. It's gotta be Black on Black on Black owned. You know, which to some people is like, okay, well, what does that even mean? You're just saying the same word over and over. No, what it means is that a lot of the times, even the businesses that we do own are still heavily reliant on PWIs or not even, I won't even say PWIs, because I think we also have a lot of Asian influence in the ownership of the foundation or manufacturing and distribution of the businesses that we tend to, and we have all different types of businesses as Black people, but we want to go a little bit further into understanding, like, there's layers to that ownership and what says on the front door, hey, who owns the actual building, who owns the land underneath it, just questions that we got to ask a little bit more. Right. So I'm sorry, what was your original question?
Hold on. What are we reclaiming, like from what or from who? And what do you feel like got taken back? Or what you're taking back? The
reclaiming is a little more on it's kind of hard to like get people to believe something that they can't like physically see or trust. But Black people, we got a lot of faith in stuff. We do. And I ain't even trying to go down that path. No shade. But we do have a lot of faith in things that we can't see. So it's always wondering to me, like, why this one can't be something that we can get a little bit more behind. Yeah. But the reclaiming is a little bit more of our like knowledge of self.
Yes.
That's the part we got to reclaim first. Our whole concept of who we are, what year it is, a lot of these things have really been thrown off and intentionally educated to us and to other people.
Right.
So my dad would say that other people like actually know more about us than we really know about our own history. And that's why they're so eager to make sure that we don't have access to things that would allow us to really learn more about that. But we have really fallen a long way in terms of systems and structures that we've had pre-years of even enslavement that were self-sustaining and independent. And if you bring it back to this day, you'd be like, oh, that was so long ago. It's like, no, other cultures of people right here in this country who came here much later, actually, in many cases than Black people did. No, they might not have all the same history and all the crap that we got going on, Jim Crow and all that. We can get to that, but it's like, no, other people are creating more independent systems of economic structure here. And so reclaiming is just to know like what we're actually capable of, that, oh, we don't need this entity in order for our things to be successful. We should know more about what we've created in the past to know that we're able to create pretty much anything that we want as long as we work together and treat each other as our greatest resource, which we've been heavily, groomed to be at odds with each other for whatever different reason. So we got to reclaim that knowledge of self. And in doing so, hey, maybe we can start to reclaim some of our love for real, for each other.
Yes.
Not just because we're cool and our hair is so nice and our clothes are fly. People, we kind of start to fetishize ourselves too sometimes, We also contribute to like, oh, we love the entertainment factor of Black people. But we way deeper than that in many cases. So we can really start to love each other for one another. That's when we can start to get back to, again, this economic battle that I don't think a lot of people really understand how deep it really goes. and I know whatever we on time, but I gotta speak on that for a second. You know, I see people like, you know, you go to like certain venues or whatever that might frequent with like black folks, and they'll be there and they'll just be flossing, you know. And I'm like, yo, be fly, yo, pull up with your nice car, your chains, whatever you get, a nice little bag. But when we really start to look at the black socioeconomic structure in America, we struggle in many financial categories.
Yes.
I don't know how many I should list right now, but, you know, let's just say things like debt to income ratio, credit score, just some minor things that actually play a big role in actually you owning any kind of real estate or anything else of value in this country. And so I get that, yes, there are some of us who actually are making money, but what we don't understand is that, like, yo, you can only make so much money as an individual. And if your money is all tied up into systems that are owned by other people, then you're really compromised in the long run, versus taking the time to be a little more honest that this rebuild is going to take some tough conversations with people to understand that, hey, just trying to be a capitalist and make as much bread as you can is not what's going to help us collectively.
Right. Oh yeah, you woke that up. See, that's what we needed.
Yeah,
that's what we needed, boo. Yeah. Okay. You pour a lot into the city constantly. Don't shy away from that, because you like to be a little too humble for me. So don't shy away from that.
I'm work on it.
Now, who pours into you? How do you keep your cup full?
Oh, y'all went into those questions. I said bring out the juicy ones. Huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, who pours into you, Taj?
Yo, shout out to my sister.
You got a sister?
Her name's Sandra.
Hey, girl, they know. Hey.
Sandra, she's an all love block party girl. She didn't come this past year, but she'll be back again. Sandra just went through like an emergency life-threatening surgery.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's been probably like 6 weeks ago now. Now she's finally back home,
Okay.
but she was out of her house for almost 6 weeks between the hospital, rehab space. And I think she'd be okay with me sharing that because, you know, life happens.
Yeah, it does.
Yo, that said, man, I definitely had some moments where I was thinking about her and I was just like, damn, you know, she's really been like, you know, besides my dad, when he was here, like, she's been like my biggest fan for 35 years.
I love that.
So she always calling me every day and just want to know what's going on and just like, I don't know, she never, like, maybe she's been annoyed with me, but she never really been like mad at me, you know? Like, she just kind of, and if she ever was mad at me, she was like not the next day, you know? Like,
she love you, Taj. That's what it's, and you the little brother?
Yeah. I'm the youngest,
I got a little brother. I get it. Aw.
So yeah, you know, like, I don't necessarily like seek a lot of, and that's why you said earlier, like, oh, sometimes a little too humble. Like, I don't necessarily seek like a lot of outside validation. Although you do want certain validation from people that you care about. So sometimes there's, you know, people might be a little closer to you who maybe aren't validating, and so that might sting a little bit more. But I don't really seek outside validation, like, you know, the greatest way I've been able to, like, you know, like pour into myself has been like my own self-discipline. Okay. The more self-disciplined I am, like, the more at peace and happier I am.
So you don't want to go get a massage or nothing? No?
No, that goes in there. Days? That's part of the self-discipline. Right? Like,
you discipline yourself and taking care of yourself as well.
Well, that should be a part of it.
Yes.
So, you know, my part of the self-discipline is also maintaining some self-love, routine and regimen. When I'm not being as disciplined, I'll just, you know, I stray away from that. I'll be eating out. I'll be just working straight, like, not, you know, maybe self-isolating sometimes from people.
Wow, I thought it was just me as a creative. I do that. I really.
That's why I like sticking. Routine is one word, but as an entrepreneur, your roots, you know, as regimented as routine might want to be, because every day could be a little different depending on the work, especially when you're on the go. And so the self-discipline really comes in where it's like, hey, no matter what's going on around, I'm still doing these things. And hey, I mean, praise and appreciation is always really welcome, but I can't even receive that when I'm not like feeling good internally. People give me compliments sometimes, and it's kind of like, if I'm not feeling good on the inside and somebody's telling me how they feel,
you can't embrace it. I feel you.
It'd be tough.
It do.
And then sometimes be like, oh, he's an asshole because he didn't like, and I'm like, nah, I didn't mean it like that. I'm just like, I'm actually like a little nervous here. Not nervous. I don't know what the feeling actually comes over. But there's been people who pull me aside and like really, express their gratitude in different ways. And I try to get better at receiving that, but it's like not something I can, it's through my self-discipline, which includes my self-love practice, that I'm allowed to like really receive those things.
Okay. Make sure you get your massages, Taj. You deserve. So when they tell the story of Brotha Taaj, right, which you built in Philly, long after the music stops, what do you want the headline to be?
I was just talking to somebody about this earlier where it was a friend of mine, they was just saying like, hey, you've already kind of accomplished it. Like, they were like, oh, what do you want from this? And then I'm like, they're like, oh, haven't you kind of done that already? And it's sometimes about the scale. But like for me, it's like, when I leave here, whatever that day is, like I really hope that I created something that helps other Black folks not just get money, but really address that internal relationship with themselves, the relationship with their people and their community around them. And I think Black Soul Summer would exist as that to some degree, but it got to get bigger. You know what I mean? We got people in Boston, we got people in Nashville,
it's going to get bigger, babe.
Got people in Atlanta, but I just want to see, I was even thinking like, would I want to be like a millionaire someday? Sure. I mean, you want to have some bread, so you need money to create, like that. It definitely costs that. But like, that's not even really my goal.
The goal, right? Okay.
Like, if I was in a space where I left this earth and Black folks was a little less reliant on the system, I would consider that like, what that's I came here to do.
Yeah. Honestly, when All Love drop, we be promoting that joint like it's 923. That joint gonna do what? One thing. So yeah, Taj, you did a lot. I want you to know that.
Yeah, I mean, all of Block Party
we've been in it. I've seen how much you've grown. You've seen how much I've grown. You remember, I was the quiet journalist. I just be like, all right, I'm about to do an article for All Love, and I'm just show Brotha Taaj real quick.
Yo, no, boy, I thought Kenlo like hated me at first, which I think you did.
Everybody did. Everybody thought I hated him. Everybody thought I hated him. I don't hate you. I just gotta scope the scenery.
She would pull up sometimes and be like, yeah, what's up? I'll be like, yeah.
No, not too much. Who cares?
And then I would try to like talk to you a little bit on the side, be like, yeah.
I'd be like, what he talking about? Like, and then I have a whole article. The article be positive as shit. He probably sitting there like,
yeah. And then
I thought she hated me.
One day you just showed up and you was, I don't know, you just wasn't like that one day. And I was like, oh, I really like her.
I might have been going through a time.
Yeah.
I might have been going through a time, but I apologize for that because accountability is key.
One day you showed up and you was actually happy to see me. And I was like, oh, like,
because I turned over a new leaf. I was beefing with people I didn't need to beef with for no reason. I was young. So young, so tender.
I was thinking about when we first met. Yeah, it was a while ago.
And I think that's like a guard for me. I'll be like, I'm a little shy, so I gotta be me first. No shade, yo. I'm really nice. But here we are. Taaj is here, Kenlo is here, boom. See?
You still doing that?
What?
Yeah.
No, I'm doing better. Okay. I'm not doing better, babe. I'm doing better. Okay, y'all. I'm going to see that lady too. I'm going to call her. Listen, we trying to do better, y'all. I'm not like that no more. But we're going to get into a game.
Yeah.
You want to chill.
Okay.
And just be cute, okay? Oh. Build the block, huh?
Okay.
That's what it's called. Okay. Oh, wow. So Taj, boom. This is how this gonna go. Imagine, think. Use your thinking cap like you always do.
So
You throwing an ultimate Philly block party. And you can only pick one in each matchup, all right? Boom. So we gonna start. Headliner, DJ Sega versus Matthew Law.
it depends on the time frame. Because DJ Sega back in the day on them block parties was going crazy.
Crazy? Okay.
Yeah. Probably Sega.
Sega, okay. Food truck. Oh. Cheesesteaks versus Caribbean jerk. Or the jerk.
I don't know, because like the Caribbean, like you need that like
You
fork
need that,
and all
though.
that. But like,
Yeah.
you know, so sometimes that could be a little more messy. You kind of have to like sit down.
You
You know
right.
what I mean?
You right.
That cheesesteak joint, you could just kind of like
Bow.
hold with you, just bow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so, you know, if I was in the block party, I don't know, I might go that way. But if I
Okay.
was getting ready to exit out the block party, I'm like heading back home, and I seen the trucks was there, I'm going
Okay.
Caribbean
Cool,
joint.
cool, cool.
Pack that joint up.
Time slot. Golden hour set versus after dark set.
After dark.
After dark? Okay. I'm a testament to that, you know, because we had that joint lit at Silk City that one night, you know?
After dark.
Vibe. House and dance versus Philly club. Oh!
Oh, that's the Philly club is tough.
Philly
though.
club?
I'm sorry. I really do. Like, I love me some house music.
Y'all about
but
to say,
But I'm gonna go Philly, Jersey, Baltimore. We would have to
Okay,
put
all right,
of
I'm gonna give
them
you
in
that.
there
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna give you that.
to balance that out.
Okay. Add on. Live art wall versus a vendor marketplace.
Vendor marketplace.
Vendor-
oh,
yeah.
damn. Oh, that's
Ooh.
tough. Damn.
That's a toughie? I like me a little vendor. You know?
I'd probably say live art wall just because vendor markets do happen a little more frequently.
Yeah, okay.
Something different happens with that live art wall where just people,
Like,
I don't know, last time
Like
people was
action?
really just chilling over there, just like sitting next to them, taking
Yeah.
their pictures. Like, I think it brings out the commerce is very important, but it's also, you know, like spiritual connection to
Yeah.
people.
location. Closed off street block versus park or open green.
Street.
Street? Yeah, I agree. Crowd. Hometown North Philadelphians or first timers discovering it. Tuh. Come on.
North Philadelphia.
North
probably.
Philadelphia. Exactly.
First timers is cool, but y'all can still come too, but y'all not the focus.
Okay. All right. That's the end of that, bro.
I thought you was gonna ask me who I would book for the All Love Block Party. And I'm just gonna throw that answer out there.
Book
You
the
first.
Kenlo Show.
You already on it.
Thank you.
But yo, Maxwell, if you watching this, you was just
Hey,
in
Max.
Philly. Come back and that would be amazing.
Yeah,
Someday.
let's call him. You
You know, that call's a little pricey.
call
It's a little pricey. But yeah, you know, I really appreciate you having me come
Of
through.
course, Taj.
All the block parties, July 18th. It's at the West Philly Container Village.
It is.
52nd and Parkside. We back for our second year there. But this is our 9th annual before we plan for our 10th year celebration. That'll be next year in 27. But yo, man, I mean, between Almost Famous, the venue space itself, all the amazing DJs and performing acts that we got coming out, I'm really excited about this year. And, you know, we always like to get the word out a little bit more, but I feel like the right people really know about it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got the chance to talk beforehand. And I'm actually do the interview. I feel like the last year or two, you've been like, yo, you need to come by and do an interview.
Yes, let me tell y'all, okay, because I'm going to do my spiel. When it comes to All Love Block Party, your ass needs to be there. Why? Okay, before we get into the food, because y'all know I'm fat. So, for one, the host is always great. The DJ is always great. You're going to shake your ass to the time you get up in there, to the time you leave, okay? And they're going to make sure you got lights when you leave. They're going to make sure you got fans when you hot. They're going to make sure the water is there. They're going to make sure you have art. And just in case you don't want to dance, maybe you want to skin. And then you're going to have a vendor market in the back in case you want a shirt. You need some perfume to squirt, okay?
Ooh,
You need a little watch to make sure you stay alert. So look, it's your girl Kenlo back at it again. Take your ass to All Love Block Party because it's going to do what? One thing. Yeah.
I honestly could not have said that any better. We did get that on camera.
We got
so
that.
We're really gonna have to clip that one. I'm gonna have to borrow
Yeah.
that. I
Like-
could use that clip right there because that was pretty fire.
Listen.
But you know, All Love is really about you know, it's all live, it's all local, it's all love. And again, it's just, getting back to that original concept of, you know, North Philly versus the Temple students. It was like, yo, this is all love here. Like, we don't need to, you know, have these walls of separation. And when you do come, like, it's very melanated out there, but you will see all different types of folks. And, you know, we just try to do our best to keep something consistent for the community that gives people some sense of belonging. And no, you don't got to go somewhere else to get that. You can get it right in your backyard.
Thanks. Well, thank you for being here, Brotha Taaj. You know I love when you here. You know we love you down. Okay?
Love you too, yo.
What can they follow you at? Bow. Let them know.
My IG is Brotha Taaj. You know, I got a couple hot takes for you and some couple workout videos maybe. But Black Soul Summer is really what you want to follow. That's where you go get all the updates of not just the events that we do internally, but also there's, I mean, the other day, I think there was like 50 events listed on there over the next like 2-3 months. So you have all different types of organizers, actually in multiple locations now, who are putting their events up there and making sure that you know, use a Black-owned ticketing platform to support a Black-owned organizer who's keeping all their data, keeping their funds, and also keeping your data protected and safe. So you're not getting them random scam calls that none of y'all like. But yeah, Black Soul Summer. You can also follow the All Love Block Party. We try to keep the spelling very simple for everyone. So it all is spelled as it sounds. And yeah, July 18th, we'll be back out there again. And, you know, when you come to this event, it is about having fun and having a great time and shaking some ass and supporting the vendors and seeing some art. But it's really about, you know, connecting with the space and people around you on a more intimate level. And we hope we can just continue to provide that for as long as our higher power allows us to.
Y'all know I'm gonna be there. And y'all know where to follow me. It's your girl Kenlo, back at it again. And I'm gonna see y'all soon. So I'm gonna get on up, get cute. I holler.
Thank you.